Yo! What's going on, guys? This is Grimm Reaper bringing you guys another session of the Boar Hat Podcast. Today I'm here with the usuals, Kishin Prime and Zarsa. How you guys doing today?
Pretty good.
Coolin'.
Alright, today we're discussing Nanatsu no Taizai 280, 7 Deadly Sins. Greatest chapter ever?
You need to stop. You need to
I think
stop.
so. The motherfucking Fairy King. The motherfucking Fairy King, bro.
You need to stop.
For eons, I have claimed the name of King. I have told you all, Harlequin, the warrior's journey is at its pinnacle, my nigga. There's a reason why the Fairy King is gonna fucking lead the charge. And what is going on right now? Zarsa, I have a question for you. What is going on this very second? Who's leading the fight against Mayo?
He transformed and did like one energy beam off screen. Let's give him another chapter.
I think he hit him. I'm not even sure. I'm pretty sure he hit him.
Pretty sure he flew up and fem.
Okay, first things first. Can we at least like get this damn structure set up? Like you're not gonna ask me about like the chapter as a whole. We can like save we can save King for later.
All right, yeah, we're gonna
overhype self.
Yeah, let's do that. Cause this is a motherfucking Fairy King, bitch.
Cause you know me. I'll go ahead and talk to you about King for like days, bro. But like, I do want to get all this. But overall, I want to just like as a brief overview for the chapter. Very good chapter. I was very much surprised. Towards the end, definitely. Overall, I'll definitely give it some solid reviews. I didn't see any real problems with the chapter, honestly. I think the only thing that got me was Diane's explanation as to why she never used the special ability of her Sacred Treasure. That kind of got on my nerves a little bit.
Actually, that kind of makes sense if you really start thinking about it.
Yeah,
it makes sense because
where do her people live?
Yes, her people live on the ground, and I understand that there could be a multitude of things, like living in the
earth.
Like
I just killed the tribe of my people.
Not only that, but like a lot of times in series, like when people deflect attacks or like when they do certain things to attacks, we don't see the end result of them. It's just like they're just off screen and shit. Like, for example, somebody will throw a Kamehameha, they'll miss, it'll hit it'll like keep going in the sky or whatever, and it just stops or something like that. Like this gives continuity to the attacks a little bit more. I appreciate that he's understanding that where are you funneling the attack to if you're funneling the attack, instead of just like, oh, this just funnels attacks.
And I also do understand that at the end of the day, Diane's kind of like, I guess like that. Diane, if anything, is one of like the most not self-conscious. Maybe self-conscious. I think more self-aware. She's one of like the more self-aware individuals of the sins, because obviously the other sins don't really have to focus on. Well, her and King definitely, seeing as how they actually care about their clans. If like the other ones who kind of just like either betrayed their clan or like aren't really seen all too well by their clan. So I can understand why she wouldn't want to just use her power like that. So that makes sense. At the same time, it's all like you've had it for a long time. And let's be honest now.
We're getting into a tangent already. We gotta do the overviews the quick overviews.
Oh, funny how that worked. And he was the one trying to wrangle us in earlier.
Exactly, right? Trying to talk about.
It can happen to all of us, so I wouldn't worry.
With this goddamn fucking Elvis Presley looking hair.
That's up, man. All right,
it's still fresh. I fucks with it.
I also believe the chapter was spectacular. As we know, we got several reveals, several additions. In terms of power, the outlook of the fight is looking different. I definitely heard discussions and thoughts about like the exhaustion of this fight and how we should probably move to a different viewpoint soon. But this definitely refreshes my perspective. Let's see what happens next. I give the chapter definitely a 9 out of 10. I myself, just to give a quick comment, I also don't necessarily love King's new hair, but just what the new state means is significant enough. But Kishin, your thoughts?
Overall,
Good.
No. What did you have to say?
No. I forgot that I already said my rating.
Oh, okay. Overall, I liked it more on the second reading. You know, gives you more time to absorb the emotional bits, especially at the beginning, and how that developed into King's ultimate ascension. I like that, like, what was it, just one or two streams ago, we were talking about Diane's Gideon finally being revealed what it can do, and then we finally get it. So that was great to finally get to know. And I also like the little tidbit that I don't know if any of you picked up on, that it was fine. It was never like really revealed if they were standing on top of a mountain or a floating island. So I did like that clarification.
We understood that it was a sky altar. We saw that whenever we got there initially.
Yeah, and
maybe I just don't remember.
Yeah,
I mean,
too many clouds.
It's not a bad idea. I mean, it's not that what you're saying doesn't make sense, because at the end of the day, I did kind of figure that they were in the sky, since it's supposed to be like a floating island. I figured, like, yeah, it'd probably be a floating island. I mean, like, the Gods Clan were pretty powerful, and they probably, use like a lot of their magic to do some really unnecessary things. That's probably the reason why they needed to get more magic, and that's probably what caused the Holy War. But beyond that, I mean, I wasn't too surprised that they were in the air.
Aside from that, the author did a really good job of linking together the chapter, and for the cover page, you got a reminder of 3 characters that are going to be essential in the chapter: Gloxinia, Oslo, and Helbram. If we look back at their stories, they all added a lot to King. If it wasn't King's initial struggle back in the first season with Helbram, and having to deal with tough scenarios with his friend, being accountable for the sins and all the atrocities that occurred to and from the fairies during his absence. Oslo's failure Ro's betrayal in terms of Gloxinia's, I guess, tribulation, and how King had to observe the consequences of that in terms of Gloxinia's life, and King himself. So we're skipping ahead, but it's important to address this. These characters added to King, right? Like they are clear, and like, you know how sometimes there are stories that'll just tell you, oh, this is why this character did that. We now have like real-time reasons why King is how he is right now. Are these justified scenarios, justified changes? Like, is the trauma that King's gone through like appropriate or justified?
They built the backstory. They are the backstory.
Totally. I would say yes, if anything, obviously, due to the fact that he kind of did fill in a couple of those roles. For example, with Helbram, Helbram was also interested in humans, and technically he was one to say don't trust humans, only to start acting start acting and dressing and trusting them. He definitely was like Ro or Oslo, because in his past he also betrayed his friends and everything, and kind of I guess like took their own trust for granted, and kind of abused that, like he did with Meliodas and with the Sins originally when he first came in the series, and with Gloxinia, basically being a failure of a king, and like not really taking his position seriously as much as he should have, obviously, kind of like losing himself to his rage and whatnot. Other than that, I would say that if anything, these characters really did. I mean, these characters are essentially like what makes King King. So yeah.
They are the stepping stones that he must overcome their past faults and rise above it, which is kind of what Gloxinia was all about. He's like, you will be a greater king than I ever was. And that was even before he got the new wings.
That's what I'm saying. My only thing, the other thing that I kind of feel that kind of gets me a little bit is the fact that we've never seen the other fairy king, and I don't like that.
Yeah, the one.
I don't like that at all.
That probably has some type of significance. Yeah, it's probably like that.
Probably does. Maybe for season 2, maybe.
Yeah. In continuation with the chapter, we unfortunately witnessed the death of Oslo in taking the light ball of love, and along with the sadness that we have to deal with his sacrifice, we do learn some other factors. So, as we understood from last chapter, healing the wounds that the scythe of
silence
inflicts does indeed remove the affliction of the commandment. This could be an explanation as to why King was able to maybe like remove the commandment on his own at the end of the chapter. Definitely could be that he now has some type of healing properties. I also want to point out that on page 4 of 280, King is in front of Diane's vagina in a very provocative manner. But
very much so.
Zarsa, you seem like you were disagreeing on that statement or that viewpoint. Please.
Of what? Of what again?
Of like that King may have healing properties in his new form.
Not necessarily healing properties, but coming from the series I have read before, obviously, like Naruto, with people having their energy sealed and everything. I feel as though it's because I feel as though if anything, it's probably due to the fact that he because of the strong emotions and the fact that like he was basically like I guess molting his wings and whatnot. Well, like he was shedding his past self, becoming I guess a new self of himself. I think if anything, that was probably just his own power. Not to say that he has any healing properties per se, but because his power was so strong that the seal itself technically could not contain his power. So
it did kind of look like that. Yeah,
because at the end of the day, even when Merlin was explaining how when they were explaining how power, how basically like the power scaling in taizai works, it's not definite like Dragon Ball. I mean, like it's there as a number. You can go ahead and use it as like a certain scale. But at the same time, it's like someone's power versus like say a certain technique someone uses. They might be able to overcome that if they have say enough energy to do so.
Okay, I've got kind of a crazy theory here. Oh, you hate my crazy theory?
No, I'm saying I hate when power increases, like
way too much in one go.
No,
I don't think
like you get healed out of nowhere.
I don't think it's necessarily out of nowhere. Okay.
I wouldn't say it's a healing either. It's not that he's healed or anything. He still has wounds from the battle, obviously. He definitely still has wounds from the battle.
Where on that last picture is King wounded?
Not wounded, but probably like fatigued, if anything. Or if anything, there's supposed to be like plants and bugs. So technically, like like caterpillars, kind of like growing out their shells and whatnot. Because Elaine herself also transformed, so it wouldn't be it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to say that he's gotten like a molting type dealio going on.
But it wouldn't be too much to say that this fairy could somehow have healing properties.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: he already does with one of the forms of Chastifold, right?
Yes, the pollen garden.
Exactly.
It doesn't heal; it just defends.
Yes.
It heals as well.
No, it defends and slowly heals.
Yeah.
What if now that he's full fairy king, even when Chastifold is not immediately near him, he can still draw upon its powers?
I would not give it a second thought and say that's legit. I would say that's
because
legit.
That would definitely explain it if he doesn't have like a bug molting power because of the butterfly connection.
I hear some trash.
It was literally defined as that he's getting more ability to draw out more of the Chastifold. It's not even like it's really just that he's not even getting stronger. It's that like his ability to draw the Chastifold is getting crazier. So like, yeah, it should be that. What's good, little mama? I mean,
little mama, trash, bro.
What's going on?
280, bro. What are your thoughts and your rating and what's up?
It was good. Like, because people on Twitter were getting some of them come mad at me for like the tweet. I'm like, this ain't it. I'm happy for King and I'm excited that he got his wigs, but I'm sorry, that hair just threw me out. It just threw me out. I'm like, huh? I think you're like, yo, respect the Elvis Presley. Like, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks
Someone on Manga Stream commented that in the comment section at the end of the chapter. He's gone from king to our king of the fairies to king of rock and roll.
I still fucks with the hair, though. Honestly, I really do.
No, some people do. I just saw it. I was just like, wait, why? Who did this? It was so funny to me. To be honest, but it was good. We finally got to see what Gideon actually does. I think it's but at least we know what it does now. Actually, his ability, like a lightning rod. That was cool.
Somebody shoot this man, right?
No, but it's just like like that's it.
Well, it works on all magics.
It's
definitely does
not
give it
bad.
some
It's
edge.
not bad ability, but then it's like it fucks up the earth and shit. I'm like, so then you want to use it then. So it's just like it was good though. I like the chapter a lot. I'm excited to see King, the Fairy King. Harley Quinn, go at it for real, for real. I don't think he's as strong as Mal, but Gloxina kind of like foreshadow when his wings would grow, he'd be fucking OD strong. So maybe my flex. Diane's not gonna.
I know Diane's not gonna.
Oh shit! I'm just saying, bro. Like, quote me. Did I not say since 14 streams ago, bro? Harley Quinn?
Yeah, it took you long enough, huh?
No, nigga. Nah, bro.
Nah, that doesn't count. That's like the equivalent of. Oh shit, I can't be swallowed that. Never mind. Look, the big tower got swallowed. Chill.
I've been claiming King, bro. I've been saying it.
You have though, yeah.
But let's stay on in the order of the chapter. Right now we're debating on. We know that you can like fix the an affliction of a commandment by healing how it affected you. So, as we've seen in the instance with the Cipher Silence, Diane was healed by Elizabeth, and she was able to use Gideon. King, we're discussing why King was able to fix the affliction of commandment. I'm saying because he probably now love
his emotions. Wasn't that the point? Like he was like, I won't let him get hurt. He's like falling. He's going with all these flashbacks and shit.
But I thought that just like spurred on the transformation. Like,
okay. So you meant like the actual what actually happened inside of him?
Yeah, I'm thinking that like him going into this form or like what is gonna be his new shit. Like now he has healing properties in this form, and that's what healed the shit. So now like you cut King on the chest, that shit gonna heal up in a little bit.
I don't know about that. That's a bit much.
Drop of lifespan. What did you guys say so far?
I said that I think the reason why the seal came off was because basically it could not contain King's power, especially when he was kind of going through his transformation. Basically, it's like he was able to overpower the seal with enough energy to do so. Basically, that was my thing.
And I was basically saying that I think he's able to more remotely draw upon Chastifold. In this case, it would have been Pollen Garden.
I think it was Diane.
Maybe.
That was really it. But you think about how most of these characters are motivated by love, right? So it really isn't that far fetched.
It's not. But
Are we going to go back to the future with this and the power of love?
I mean, I don't want to tie it back too much to Fairy Tail because Fairy Tail all kind of got on my nerves with that, with the whole hey man, this power of love here, it's pretty wild, and I'm like, yeah, no, please no.
Okay,
but,
so my bad.
No, go ahead.
All right. I was gonna say another strong pillar of information that we got in consequence of this. We got more of Maya. Now, Maya is now spamming light balls or light jewels of love in this translation. Previously, we saw him use 4 commandments in succession. So we now know the properties of this form and how he's using his ability. 2 things. How crazy is this current Maya? And the second one, should this Maya be able to do what Esterosa could do?
Well, you know what? I'll let someone else go first this time.
I mean, as long as he's only using like 1 commandment power at a time, I mean, I guess he could spam it, technically. But as for the Esterosa thing, I mean, technically as well. I mean,
can he pull out a corporeal blade right now and then body on Naeus too?
No. He can't do that, but I would say... Oh, yeah, no, good.
No, I mean, I would think probably, but it might not even look the same, so we might misidentify it.
I don't know. I feel like maybe. That's a hard one. I don't know.
See, no. Go ahead.
It's kind of like he's regained some of his, like, I guess, angelic, sense of self, but it's not all there. So I guess he's still somewhere in the middle. So I wouldn't be surprised if he could. But if he couldn't, I also wouldn't be surprised. Does that make sense?
I would say, if anything, Rebellion was like him producing this stuff, and now that he's able to kind of like produce random objects with the powers, that's kind of like his angelic abilities along with his demon powers kind of like mixing together. So it's like a nice little combination between the two, really.
I'm just saying that, like, I don't mean to compare this with this series, but in other series, different forms do different things. And sometimes it's very plausible that those different forms and new forms can do what the old forms can do. But we're discussing, like, drastic changes. Not only did we literally on screen see the loss of a blessing with the acquisition of a commandment, but we then saw a person with arc and darkness utilizing them in tandem on the same arm consciously. On two different arms consciously. So, like, this new Mayo, who there's no reason to believe that he's just like turned off or anything, he just has a mask on. Why couldn't he pull out corporeal world? Why couldn't he make a darkness blade on his left arm while he has a light ball orb on his other hand? Why couldn't he do that fucking thing where he was the light arrow anymore from his right hand while he has a darkness blade in his left hand? Could he do that now?
He probably can, but I think the author kind of wants to keep it, light, so that it's like, oh yeah, he's super overpowered. Because honestly, a lot of these characters can do some crazy stuff that you just don't see them do. Probably just because, like, the situation, like, had they used it in the situation, it would have been resolved a lot faster. And the author may just want to, keep any opposition going for a little bit longer to express the difficulty of any battle. But that's just me.
It could be that he's, like, only going to be using, like, the peak abilities of both light and darkness. But that's my only conclusion.
I don't know. I definitely, like, I will not accept an argument where you're trying to tell me that, like, oh, he's only going to show, like, this, but he can't do the other stuff. Like, it's very, very clear that, like, just like one of you guys said, that the author's obviously just showing certain things for every part. What new thing can he do? I just want a confirmation of, like, can he also do what we used to before? Let him make a darkness.
Probably. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, probably. But, like, if anything, they're probably keeping, the author's probably keeping that, keeping him from using that so that, like, they have, rather, so that one, he can focus more on, the mix between light and dark. And two, so it's like, oh yeah, he's using all this stuff together, and now look how, like, broken OP. Because in reality, he should be able to use all the other commandments, but he's not. Now, whether that's because they're using rather he has, like, all these commandments together. There's no reason for him to be, like, using all of them at once, or he should be afflicted by all the commandments that he has. It'd be a bit much, personally, I think.
All right. New conversation block. 1 through 5. 1 being cool, 5 being essential to whatever you do. All the lost treasures, starting with Lost Vein. 1 through 5.
3.
Give it a 3, yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably keep it at a 3. It just kind of like a one-trick pony.
Yeah, I do. I agree with the same thing. 3 is right for me. Act Rita.
Oh, jeez.
100! 100! The power of 1 million exploding suns, okay?
Too fucking powerful. Too goddamn heavy. I'm gonna give it a 1 because I can't even lift that shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it's definitely a million exploding suns.
Okay, so there you go. Million exploding suns. I'll give it that. I'll give it a million.
All right, I'll give it a 1 too.
Wow.
Yeah, if it's not Escanor, that shit's probably useless.
You kind of
yeah.
Okay, that's
just an
fair,
axe.
but you know what? Still getting 100 million exploding suns.
It's gonna get 100 million exploding suns, but here's the thing, right? Remember that apparently Rita is heavier than Gideon, which I don't know if that. Yeah, I believe I believe Gideon's actually heavier than Rita.
Yo, hit that gym, man. Gotta hit that gym.
No, shut the fuck up, bro.
Well, that could
get
be
them gains.
because,
Why
like,
did you
if
say
you
that?
condense the sun, imagine how heavy that actually is.
Yeah.
And it was storing power.
That's what I'm saying.
So
like,
that might
Rita,
explain
I don't
the
think it's
weight.
just sunlight.
Flex
should be
them
energy.
pecs.
It probably like stores any energy that you put into it, and then allows you to release it and utilize it when you want. So like if Meliodas or whatever, he's strong enough to pick it up. Sure, he could be fine to use it. I'm just saying that like because Escanor is the only other person that's always around that power level that like can always fucking boost it up, and it literally helps him whenever he can't. There's no other character that has a negative time point, but he has a negative time point, and it keeps him at a strong point. That's super plus for him, like literally made for him. But other niggas, that's not going to be anywhere near as a plus. They could be super strong with it, but it's not as much as a plus for them as it is for Escanor. But you're fucking lying if you tell me it's. Where does it say that?
I think I saw it on the wiki that like Gideon's supposed to not Gideon. Rita's supposed to be heavier, which would make sense because at the end of the day, Escanor's kind of like broken OP like that. So, but I have to look back. But I'll stand by the statement until I'm proven wrong. I know that. Right. So if y'all can prove me wrong, go ahead.
The magic ball Aladdin.
Easy. Definitely give it a 4. Give it a 4.
Yeah. It makes the broken already more broken. So I'll give that one a 5.
5.
I'll give it a 4. Only because now the reason why I'm giving it a 4 is because honestly, it's kind of. I
also give it a 4 because to me it seems similar to Lost Vein, where it's a one-trick pony, but because that one trick can assist in all aspects, there's no reason why it's not just better than Lost Vein, which also multiplies as you can do, but it decreases those multiples. So that's why I would say Aladdin should be probably like one better. Isn't that right? Isn't that what it does? It just makes like your attack stronger. Like
Aladdin?
Magic spells, yeah.
No, I think Merlin uses it more as a focus for said spells, but we don't know its special ability.
Why'd you call
because
it
Merlin
Aladdin?
can do a lot of broken shit. Aladdin and the genie and all that other stuff.
No,
it's Alden, isn't it?
No.
Yeah, it's like Alden or Alden.
It's Alden? One. I always thought it. I always read it as Aladdin. My bad.
But yeah, it's super busted. She's transferring her souls into it and all kinds of shit. Yeah, I mean,
exactly. Yeah, it's like that's
to me. It's a 5. I'll give it a 5.
Next sacred treasure, Gideon.
2.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3.
I'll give it a 3.5 now that we know what it's really capable of.
It's like there's a lot of abilities that kind of do something like that too, like full counter and stuff. And so it's like,
yeah, I was gonna say,
it's not that original, I guess, even within this universe. It's cool though. It's not a bad ability. I'm just saying, like,
it's not original, but it seems as though with full counter, you need to have some kind of strength in order to like smack the energy back with enough physical force too. Because it seems as though.
But there's a physical reflection in one too. One for physical and one for magic.
No. It was literally told it doesn't matter how strong it is; it just reflects it. You don't have to do
yes, I know that.
Just
but hear me out. So the emotions of Meliodas, right? They can use full counter just like Meliodas. But then from there, right, that's all it is. They're reflecting like the attack back. It's not getting that boost. But when Meliodas used it, I guess he could put his physical force into it, kind of smack it back harder.
What? No, we were told that it reflects it back stronger.
Yes, it reflects all magical attacks. I know. I'm not saying it doesn't do that. No,
what I'm saying full counter reflects magical attacks stronger. Like when it comes back at you, it's stronger than when you sent it.
Okay, so explain this then, right? Then how come those monsters that were attacking Meliodas and Vaughn, right? How come when he slapped them with the exact same, when he slapped back their attacks using full counter and everything, it didn't affect them at all?
Because we were literally, the emphasis of Half of Purgatory was that these indigenous beings are crazy strong and crazy durable. Hence as to why Bond is similar to them now. But what? Nigga, that was the whole point of Purgatory. That there are creatures here, like fucking Hawk and shit, that are crazy durability. Have crazy as durability. And
I think his point was, I think if I get correctly, like, to use that that type of magic attack, you still have to be stronger than your opponent for it to work. I guess is that what you're trying to say? While Gideon, it doesn't matter how weak you are. I guess if you could use a lightning rod ability,
exactly.
Okay, all right, I got it.
I don't understand that because we've never seen an instance where a full combo was used as in like you have to be skilled or superior to somebody else. There have been plenty of attacks that have been like excessively larger, come at Meliodas when he doesn't see them, and all he does is just swipe at them full counter. It's basically been on like how fast can Meliodas react to them, not like if he's strong enough to hit it back. Could you show me an instance where it was based on strength?
There's no instance where it's based on strength, but I can tell you an instance where his strength was lacking and then the attack did not work.
Please.
In Purgatory.
Exactly, in Purgatory, where he's not as strong, and then whenever he reflects attacks back, they don't affect anyone because it's supposed to be stronger because it's supposed to be stronger, right? Almost everyone who's ever used an attack on Meliodas at whatever setting has still damaged them in one way. When he's in Purgatory, for some reason, then it's not damaging anyone, even though Bond's attacks are coming through, which should kind of be crazy because if Meliodas can hurt someone, or rather, if Bond can hurt someone, then Meliodas should be able to, because we're always led to believe that Bond is in some way, I guess, inferior to Meliodas in some sense.
I'm sorry, but that arc was primarily there to show us the strength and the fortitude of those creatures. I don't think it's sufficient enough to say that his faultiness in killing them was because like he wasn't strong enough. We were even shown that Bond, because he's there so long, is another reason why he's doing so well here. Remember, Meliodas was handicapped half of that time. Bond was the one fighting the tough monsters because of that, because he was there having success. Meliodas, it's also a moot point because Meliodas was there even longer than Bond, but
we'll leave that for another day. How about that?
Yeah, because that's
Purgatory is a mess. Because there's a couple laws that have been told to us that don't always stay consistent. So it's definitely a topic for another video.
Yeah. All right. So next topic block.
Oh, that I cut out. I was like, fuck.
I got you. All right. So Elizabeth is still present. Elizabeth is, just like we were talking about before, she's becoming a lot more helpful. We actually speculated on stream, and I remember this clearly, about with these guys actually combating Mayo in this like team manner, that they're gonna have to like be into the fight. They're gonna have to be healed. She's been healing them efficiently and effectively, to all of our appreciation. I know I read in several threads people commenting why Elizabeth isn't doing anything, but once again. Mayo came after her. Should this be expected? Is this the revelation we were looking for? As to like, is Mayo like there or not, or is this just battle prowess? Is he just trying to solidify the kill and the win, or is literally Diane yelling out, "Elizabeth, you should just leave me, or else"? The point that we should look at to prove that Mayo is conscious that he wants Elizabeth still. What's going on here? Why didn't Mayo come after Elizabeth?
I think it's because she was moving about, and he was like, "Oh, she's not dead yet. Let me go fix that."
Yeah. I really don't have anything else to say besides that, honestly. I think it's kind of like that more than anything else. If he's still there, he would have said something personally. That's what I believe, but...
Yeah, he hasn't said shit. That boy gone. Mine is gone. But it's like, I guess maybe because of her commandments. Because like part of me wants to think that if it's really Mael, then he should probably be able to handle it. But I don't know what the actual qualifications are for being able to handle more than like one commandment, like soldiers and things can. I don't know if it's just strength, is it mental fortitude, like what is it? So I don't know. But he's gone. I don't think he's not all there upstairs.
Was he ever, since we got to know him?
No, he wasn't.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. He really wasn't in the first place. So
he's always kind of a sicko.
I think it was a cuck, but that's just me.
He's a cuck.
I've always said it's all like
he had all this power, and he's like, how do I talk to Elizabeth? Are you a bitch?
Exactly. I said it before when he was Esteros. It's all like first, right? I was like, yo, you want your brother to like let you like smash his girlfriend? Really? Like that's what's going on in your head? Really? Wow, dude, you big cuck, huh? Big one. and then we find out that it's just like a random unfortunate who like got like who just wasn't able to get the girl in the first place. But hey, it is what it is. Anyway, moving on.
All right. So, along the journey to King's transformation, we get all the things that he should have appreciated. We also got mention of the sacrifices, a lot of the sacrifices. If we count up from the beginning, there's Dolor, Gloxinia, Oslo, Derriere, Monspier. Am I missing anybody? Sariel, Tarmiel,
Hellbram.
I
would say like low key Elaine, but she's kind of back. But low key, because she was dead for a while. But
who?
I said low key Elaine, like for a little bit, but she's back now. So
yeah, Elaine a little bit, but I mean that's
asterisk beside that, asterisk.
Yeah.
Is this I want to take a quick step back and not be inside of taizai when I say this, but outside of taizai. This series has death. This is not a like save everybody series, but we do have several elements of returning back to life. I personally think that there's one stain that's obliterating a storyline for a character in terms of like making it trash because of this issue. But is the whole life death thing an issue for you guys, or has it been an issue at all?
Generally speaking, I hate any series where like the concept of life or death is not like concrete, where it's like Naruto, you get like I could talk to my mom through the soul and all that shit is stupid. Like I can't take that. Dragon Ball, like anyone someone dies, I just roll my eyes because like that doesn't mean shit. You can go in the other world and fucking play and fight, like don't matter, right? So the concept of life and death to me has to make sense. But most of these guys are not even human anyways, and this is a more like super high fantasy world. So like it doesn't bother me as much in this world because it's kind of explained well for the most part. But it does bother me like that sometimes when someone dies, I think to myself, you can like, it's probably a way to bring them back in a sense. Hellbrum, you could talk to him through the helmet. I kind of don't like that. So for me, usually if someone's dead, please stay dead. I don't want to like, you could like hallucinate or something, but I don't want you literally like, I connected to the other world and spoke to my mom and gave me the power of French. Like, fuck off.
I'll say it doesn't really bother me because just like Naya said, at the end of the day, like series like Dragon Ball and Naruto definitely kind of like ruin it for me when it comes to like this characters have a chance of coming back and saying something. Other series like One Piece where like death is somewhat concrete, say for like some characters with Dolphins and whatnot.
We've had like 10 people that have died confirmed that had impact in 20-something years, so it's definitely playing it right.
It seems as though that the concept of death in taizai is very much a concrete, save for a couple instances where it's all like characters with immortal life, or someone's doing a spell to basically bring back the dead. But again, like Naya said, it's a high fantasy world, so that's to be expected. But yeah, it doesn't really bother me. If anything, I like the way they handled the death thing because that side chat that we got with Jericho talking to Elaine, how Elaine said that her brother was like with her and everything. Jericho cannot see or even deal with her brother while her brother is dead, but her brother is kind of like watching over her. Kind of like that whole thing is like, like your grandmother's watching over you or your dad's watching over you. It's a good thing. Elaine can see and probably converse with said spirit, but Jericho can't because Jericho just doesn't have those abilities, and that doesn't bother me. If anything, I like
that. I don't like the freehood of it, but like I said, I haven't had any infractions besides one. I don't mind the return of like all the dead because they went right back and they had a condition to them. I don't mind the immortality thing because that's always cool and it's not used in a manner where it's like a puzzle that's never going to be addressed in the story. And like Naruto did that with like Hidan or whatever. They gave you like a little immortality thing, a few characters that come back from the dead, little stupid things like Orochimaru, like shit like that like it gets annoying. But Taizai has never like strayed through those paths at all whatsoever. So I don't think I have an issue with the death thing at all. But there is a lot of it. Like, more than... We've seen a lot of deaths on screen. Like, a lot of fucking deaths. Like, fodder or not, this isn't like One Piece where, Luffy will kick you across the island, and then people will tell you, "Oh no, he's not dead. He's just knocked out." No, we saw people's heads cut off. We saw Gerard get like her fucking legs and arms cut off, her wings cut off.
Yeah.
We saw like these massacres. We've seen people that beheaded before. We've seen all kinds of things in Taizai before. You know, Hellbrum literally cut in half twice in front and then brought back, and all kinds of crazy things. So, I know we asked this earlier, is King's journey justified? But like, one more time, let's step out.
I think it is.
Let's step out of the Taizai world and let's look at it a viewpoint. Is King's story gonna be great, or is it just gonna be good?
What do you mean by his story?
Well, like King's side of the story itself, really.
Because I want to do a video like that too, where I just like tell the whole story of King. But like basically, he's a slothful king who had a sin, and his sin, the consequences of his sin was the destruction of his home and his people. And
he's been through a lot, man.
Yeah,
he's been through a lot. I think he has a good story. His backstory was really cool. He was going through it with Diane for a bit because Diane thought that the boy that helped her back how many years ago was Meliodas for a long time and shit. And finally, and he kind of also like a failure of the king because he never had his wings come out, right? Because didn't Elaine get him for him?
Yeah, Elaine got hers before him.
Yeah. His sort of dead sister got his wings before. Like, I think King's story is dope. You should definitely dive into it.
So is it good or great?
Especially his relationship with Hellbrum, like the way that played out and how complicated it was. I think that was really, really, really good, and it's very fucking sad too. So, if you want me to rank it out of 10, I give like an 8.
Having to kill your best friend over and over again.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's fucked.
Not all journeys are, clean.
No, definitely not. I would say, I would give it definitely, is it great? It's very, very, very good. To say it's great, he'd have to do a lot more personally for me. I don't know exactly what. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with King, honestly. But to make
Isn't
it great...
the most fleshed out? Out of all the sins, his is the most fleshed out, I think. Besides Meliodas'.
Yes.
But
I will agree with you on that, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will agree with you on that. His is one of the most fleshed out. I mean, again, we haven't seen his cast that much, but it's fine.
I'd say Banz's. Especially if you actually add the 7 days that he spent with Elaine in the forest, like that side story, I think we actually got the most from him.
Yeah, that was also very good. I would say, if anything, if we got a little bit more about King and Diane, it might be... his story might get a little bit better, but I mean, honestly, his is very solid, very solid, very solid.
I want more about the time where he initially left the forest, like in that 500 years where he was like he was roaming around there, and then when he went to Leonis, shit like that. I want that to see what he was doing, because that would solidify because that was a time period where he was committing the sin, right? Like committing the sin of sloth. He actually left the guardianship of protecting the forest and shit, where all the bad things happened, shit like that. So I would want to see like all the things that he was enjoying while his people were suffering, to build more on the trauma.
I can agree with that, and it will kind of complete the timeline, so you know what he was doing from like the start to up until now. I agree with that.
I mean, how long did he stay with Diane for? About like couple hundred years, right?
I think so.
They're chilling for a couple hundred years because I believe it was Matrona who said, what were you doing for like 500 years? You just wandered off, and then you came back with like human clothes, acting like some kind of fairy or some kind of human, being weird and shit. So if anything, King definitely spent a lot of time with her. And I guess that's the reason why, like, Gother's whole memory manipulation thing mattered, at least to like their case, because it was kind of like a bittersweet thing. It's all like, oh great, she remembers him. And then it's like, oh damn, Gother, what the hell, dude? Like, you're kind of fucking up like the whole process. Like, why are you doing that? And then finally, it's like, oh, finally, they finally have something. Something tragic just might happen, just to add to King's story and I guess like his strife. But I think right now things are looking pretty well for him, honestly.
How strong?
He just keeps gaining.
Say what?
He just keeps gaining.
Wait, no, Grimm.
We questioned earlier that we've never seen a second Fairy King. Gloxinia says that he's going to be the strongest out of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
How strong is the second Fairy King?
Good question.
So He was able to like repel and push back Mile, right? He did that.
He fucked that nigga up, dog. He fucked that nigga up.
Okay,
Slapped him.
No, he didn't. He's not like Mile wasn't like bleeding or nothing. He's pushing back. Don't boost. Don't boost. I think numerically his power level probably jumped.
Definitely,
really
definitely
high.
did.
I don't know how high. I want to say higher than like Pika Scanner was at this point in time, but I don't know how fucking high he went though. I don't know. I have no idea. But I think he's gonna. I think one thing you have to think about him, like his weapon is so like strong and dope and versatile. Like, what do you think he could do with it now with added power? So that's really what I want to see, like how Chastafo can be used now with his wings out and his fucking Elvis Presley hair. Goofy ass hair to his hair, man. Oh Lord.
Bro, this nigga's talking shit too. This nigga said fucking. He's like.
Don't get me wrong. Like the hair is cool and everything. I saw the back and I was like, the back's a little too long. I mean, like if the back was short, like like very much like like the clean cut in the back, and then he had like the bit on the top, that'd be fine. But like again, the Presley hair, I'm kind of fucking with it, honestly. Like it doesn't look too bad. Because I've read some of the notes and some of the character, and some like the sketch, like in some of the sketch art for Nakaba, and he said that, for example, he wanted Elizabeth to get her powers earlier, but her hair was supposed to cover both of her eyes, but he said that didn't really look too well, so I didn't add it in there. So definitely, like the design of characters definitely plays a part in like I guess their powers and whatnot, or to how they develop for the most part.
I can't look at any of the manga to look at One Punch Man, bro. It's so like whenever I look at, because like in the past few days we were looking at fucking the One Punch Man chapter for the podcast, so that's what I have first in my mind. And like I read the One Piece chapter, and then I read the Taizai chapter, and I'm like, what the fuck are these people doing, bro? Like, don't get me wrong, the art for Taizai is fucking amazing. The clarity in the attacks, the sequences, it's nothing but top notch. But One Punch Man is like, I can clearly tell the difference. Like, we're talking about the design and how like King looks and shit like that, and like I legit, that was just like, I would have been hyper. I can say that I would have been like noticeably hyper if King's hair was different. I can say that. I fucked with it, like you're saying, but
what if it looks like nice when he's flying? Like slicks back.
Honestly, because
I keep looking at it and I'm trying to like I'm trying to like it, but like what the fuck?
Maybe he'll style it like Antenna in the next chapter. Who knows?
I'll take it.
Yo, this nigga said I'll finish this once and for all, bro. Is he gonna do that?
I mean, that's a bold claim. That's a really bold claim. Who knows? Maybe he can.
Strongest fairy king in all of history. I mean, he's only the second one. Like, damn.
No, he's the third.
Oh, third?
Yeah, he's the third.
Is it what?
Yeah.
Before him.
Who?
There's Luxinia, and then there was
King No Name, because I don't even know.
He has a name.
Yeah, Meliodas even talked. Yeah, I mean, Meliodas even talked about him too. He was like, because he was talking. Oh, this is when they were talking shit to each other in the when they were training, with the druids and everything. He was all like, the first two fairy kings had like amazing wings.
Oh, fuck you! Right.
I said this to you earlier. Where is this guy? Like, he's a fairy king, but he was never really like mentioned.
Fuck.
I think his name was.
So wait, hold on.
I'm looking.
Is this hair permanently like this?
Probably. I don't think Elaine lost how long her hair went either. I mean, they might cut it. If they want.
You gotta like slick it to the back or something, bro.
Okay,
It doesn't look that bad, honestly.
On the Reddit post, it says her name is Dahlia, and she appeared briefly in the 7W Sins game, and she was mentioned in Meliodas. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dahlia. I don't know.
Interesting.
They said that. Hold on.
Fairy queen, yo. It's fairy
She
queen.
appeared. What does she look like?
In a game. I don't know. Yeah, post that.
Yeah, bro. If you can post that, please.
Is she thick or is she a lolly too?
Probably a lolly. Let's be honest now.
Yeah, that's kind of the fairy's way.
Fairy body type.
Mm. My question is, So we know that.
Wow, is this her? Oh my.
Oh, let me see. She cute at least. I mean, like, I'd kind of be tight if she like wasn't.
Like Narabasta? Like, come on now.
I mean, yeah. See, like, cause and that's my thing. I had to see, and my theory still stands. All the goddesses, for some odd, strange reason, are all stacked. All the goddesses are stacked, and then all the fairies. Yeah, we know they're a lot, but for some reason, right? All the demons are flat chested as hell. For some reason, they're all flat chested. That's crazy. That's her.
Really? I've only seen one female demon.
Okay, yeah.
We've seen two.
No, two. Yeah, the little bat one that was like.
Oh,
trying
she
to
would
tell
help.
No. Oh, scratch that.
Help him as well.
Three. Because Maricela counts as a demon.
Kind of looks like
that's right, yeah.
Elaine a little bit.
Maricela has titties too. Yeah, she does look almost exactly like Elaine. And she's got that like little like cleavage shit that makes it like she has some titties, but you know, lolly shit. What am I looking at?
Lolly shit. Yeah.
I do have to wonder what.
I like the sleeves though.
Yeah. The sleeves kind of like some weird fucking bird wings and shit.
Yeah, I was about to say wings.
Like a phoenix or something?
Something like that.
Is she dead or is she still alive or what's the I don't know. I don't know if the games are set in the canon or if it's like
she's in the dungeon of the demons.
She should probably be dead. If Harley Quinn was born as the next Fairy King, she's probably dead, bro.
Wait, hold on. What game is this anyway?
But Gluxinia was still alive, and so was
Oh yeah, that's true.
King.
Well, he defected, so
Yeah.
So I mean, she could have been born about the time that happened, or we really don't fully.
Is Gluxinia the first king or second?
Yeah,
first.
Okay.
Look, the thing is though that like we know that the tree picks the king. It's not like I want to be king. No, the tree picks the king, so, right? You're born. You're born from a special plant, and we're speculating whether that plant is a fairy king plant or if it's just like a regular old plant. And
aren't they just born from the fairy tree, right? Isn't that what they said?
No, they're all born from the fairy tree.
Yeah, I was the one that speculated, like, if it's a particular kind of flower, and then, like, the people are like, oh my god, the royal plant has bloomed, and, you know, it's like, who will be our new ruler, or some crap.
Because all we know is that you can have siblings from the same plant. So Elaine and King are from the same exact plant. But we don't know if Gluxinia and Gerard are from the same plant as Elaine and King, or if they're just from two separate plants, and they just both got selected to be kings. I believe it's that option, that they're from two separate plants, they were both chosen to be king, and it's any plant that could get chosen. The tree just chooses.
I just find it interesting that two of the kings, or in this case a king and a queen, both have human round ears, while most of the fairies have pointed ears.
Yeah.
I think that's just honestly, I really can't even say at this point.
Maybe there's some human breeding thrown in there somewhere.
Yeah, stop, bro. Stop, dog. No interracial shit.
I mean, hey. If anything, at one point in time, we're gonna talk about exactly how King and Diane expect to,
what you mean, bro? Did you not see Harley Quinn's big form, dog? He got that big meat. His belly ain't the only big thing.
Can you?
His belly ain't the only big thing. And they use hey Merlin, bro. Where that size increase? Where that?
And Diane can shrink now, so
you gotta fly inside. You're rubbing against the wall.
Okay.
There's plenty of ways to get fucked. Actually, yeah, they've been showing plenty of ways. Just call it Merlin. We good.
Y'all's terrible, but in all seriousness, right?
No, hold on. Like legit, like look, Diana just go to Merlin one day in the afternoon, like, hey, me and King are having our honeymoon. Could you bring me down size? No, she make her small, normal size, and then Diana come through, get that fucking Harley Quinn dick.
Yeah, first we all know how it's gonna happen.
Go first form with that dick.
I don't get. So you think Diana's gonna take it from a plant?
Wild, absolutely wild.
Oh shit!
Makes me think of the eggplant emoji, and it takes on new meaning with this discussion.
They can have fun with it. Like sometimes she shrinks down, sometimes they make him bigger, and then they fuck on the mountain or some shit.
Makes sense.
What do you mean Diane is the mountain?
It makes sense because he's a plant. Plants come from the earth, and she has magic that controls the earth.
Their children will be so in tune with the earth, it will be ridiculous.
And they like shake like the earth. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
It shakes the earth. Crazy.
It's just a hybrid being born. Don't worry about it.
Wild. I honestly, I'll just say this really off topic, but I'm so tight that we don't see that we're not getting any vampires in the series. That kind of gets on my nerves because my girl Gelda is out here with blue hair, and ain't no one gives a fuck about her either.
When we were coming back to Arthur leading the story for a little bit, whenever he was like, we got that half chapter of Arthur, I thought we were gonna start fucking with the vampires because around there we start seeing some of the monsters that he was fighting, and there were some I think there were some vampire creatures or some other different types of creatures. It was like one with it was an eyeball with wings or whatever.
Oh, Aldoni, yeah, he was like the last of the vampires that the Sins had fucked with. Merlin made him into whatever it was, made him into a familiar basically.
You are my messenger bird.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I thought that was gonna happen around that time, but we didn't.
I mean, personally, I hope Gelda's still alive. I think that's what Meliodas is waiting to, use with Zeldris. Probably the reason why he got him to help out in the first place, because of the whole Vampires of Ironburg sad story. But again, who knows?
All right, guys. Chapter 280 of Taizai was a very, very good one. There's a lot of conversational topics. We'll probably dive into it a little bit more in the prediction stream before 281. Stay tuned for that. I don't believe we're on break next week for any reason, so
we are not.
Taizai is on the road still. We had a great discussion. Please check out everybody's channels: Naya, Kishin, and Jarso and stuff here on the Grimm Reaper channel. Check out the recent One Punch podcast that we had. Yeah, it was a really, really good one.
That was good.
Yeah, you checked it out?
Get me in that next time.
Facts, I got you, nigga. The chapter for One Punch Man will be coming out in a few days too, so check that out. The One Piece official viz discussion is gonna be late. I had some things to do yesterday, and I had some things to do today as well. So you're probably gonna get that the day before the chapter drops. Unfortunately, guys,
it's on break this week.
Yeah, so just do it on Friday.
Man, what the fuck? Yo, fuck One Piece, dog. Never mind, we ain't doing that shit.
You say that.
He didn't mean that. He's joking.
No, we ain't doing it.
He's joking.
He didn't mean it. He didn't mean it.
Every 2 days, that shit on break, bro. Every fuck that shit, bro.
It's once a month. It was just that Golden Week kind of messed it up.
Once a month? All right. See you later, guys.
Oda has a lot of clout. That's all I have to say.
Yo!